What up, world? Welcome to T-Mail Little Dog. We had to tap in, talk about Draymond Green, his recent comments about the trade with Jaylen Brown. I think it was out of line, out of pocket. I don't think he should be speaking on this, but he's still playing. You know what I'm saying? He sound bad talking about somebody else he may have to guard. Let's listen to what he said in his comments. You tell me what you think.
And no disrespect to Paul George, but this isn't an even
So he
swap.
being
I got a
disrespectful.
lot of love for PG, but like myself, PG is 36 years old. Not like myself, I'm going into year 15. I think PG is going into year 17. And Jaylen Brown, not even 30 years old. He's 29 years old, and he's going into year 11. So, and by the way, he won Finals MVP 2 years ago. I think he just made All NBA second team this year. Was arguably
Hey man, keep in mind he's still playing. You know what I'm saying? Draymond Green's still playing. That's crazy.
controversially, possibly could have been a first team performer, but the votes are what they are. So it's not an even swap. Like when you're talking just player for player. It's not. And I don't think, that's no shot at PG. I don't think Paul George would say at this point in his career.
Hey, and I ain't, you know what I'm saying? I didn't like the trade either. I'm a Jaylen Brown. I ain't really a big fan of his, but you got to give him respect. I didn't like the trade. I wouldn't trade for that. They got 4 picks and they got Paul George. It's definitely not an even swap in my eyes, but I'm not playing it. But I don't think he should be commenting like this. But let me stop interrupting. Here y'all go.
Him and Jaylen Brown are an even swap. So when I look at sports media and I see people saying that, either one, you're not smart, or two, you're trying to lessen the value of Jaylen Brown. You're trying to make it out as if Jaylen Brown isn't Jaylen Brown. And I just think that's bullshit.
Paul George ain't a bum either,
Again,
so keep that in
no
mind.
disrespect to PG. PG is a first ballot Hall of Famer, all of that. But to say today, July 2nd, 2026, that Jaylen Brown and Paul George is an even swap, I struggle with that badly, because it's just not real. Like, again, you're talking to a guy who won Finals MVP 2 years ago, missing who most would say is the best player on his team in Jason Tatum this past year, moved on from God, Al Horford was no longer there. Drew Holiday was no longer there. The guys that were no.
Hey man, he just talked too goddamn much, man. Hey, I trade Paul George for you. Shit, Paul, that wouldn't be no even swap. I think Paul George better than him. What y'all think? I'll take Paul George. I can have Draymond Green.
Longer a part of there. And obviously, Jason Tatum missing 60 games. Everyone felt like last year for the Boston Celtics was kind of like a reset year, get under the tax, reset and try to reboot and retool for when Jason Tatum's back healthy. And Jaylen Brown had other plans. Jaylen Brown did not let that team drop off at all. Now, ultimately, were they going to win in the playoffs without Jason Tatum? No. Like, it's different. But they were the 2 seed in the East. To say that everyone believed and thought they were going to be that, you're lying. We all thought it was a throw in the towel year. We'll try again next year. Jaylen Brown had other plans and went and played at an MVP caliber level to keep that team right where they were. To say he and Paul George is the same, you're just trying to lessen what Jaylen is.
Why is Draymond Green talking like he an analyst, man? Like he not playing no more. He talking like he retired, bro. This man is still playing. Why are he talking like this? If I'm Paul George, when I see Draymond Green, I got to get 30. You got to get 30, man. I can't. I'm putting up 30.
And I don't think that's right. And I don't think Paul George would agree with that. And now you tack on the 2 first-round picks, and for those saying, oh, man, that's an even swap of a player, then why is Philly sending 2 first-round picks and 2 second-round picks and a pick swap? Why? If the players are even trade. If I'm Jason Tatum, I'm livid, because regardless of what anyone says, we all know the player that Jaylen Brown is. And you're going to send this dude to the same division as me with a chip on his shoulder, and I got to play this man 4 times a year? I'd be livid if I was Jason Tatum. Like, what are we doing here?
Man, I think he's out of line, bro. He just out of line, man. He definitely out of line. That's crazy to me. It's crazy to me. He comment right. Look at how old Paul George is. Paul George. Let's take a look at him, man. Let's see what the Celtics is getting with Paul George. Paul George, 36. He averaged 17 last year, man. He averaged 17. Wasn't bad. It's not a bad year. You know what I'm saying? So it ain't like you getting a bum. You know what I'm saying? Paul George, he still got some juice left, man. He's 36. So I still think he got some juice left, man. And let's take a look at one more thing here. Let's see what the Celtics received. The Celtics received Paul George, 2 first-round picks, 2028, 2031, and 2 second-round picks, 2028 and 30, for Jaylen Brown. So they they did get some picks. They did get Paul George. I don't really think it's a good trade for the Celtics, but it may pay off in the long run. I just don't think Draymond Green is at the spot to be talking about another player while he's still playing. You know what I'm saying? I think you're out of line. I think that's foul. And uh, I think Paul George need to drop 30 on his ass. So he mark the calendar, man. Paul George is gonna put 30 on his ass. You heard it here first. All right, man. That's all I had to say today, man. I just want to tap in, let y'all know my opinion. T Mills, Little Dog Experience. Y'all, please subscribe and tell me what you think. Peace.